Hi, it's Sharon. Today we're going to be making these lovely flowers. You'll need old pop bottles. Doesn't matter what size you've got, and please keep the lids, they're very useful. A pair of scissors for cutting. A pen to mark the bottle. And when it gets to that stage, some paint. But firstly, we're just going to concentrate on cutting out the flower. So I'll let you have another look. There you go. As you can see, they're really effective. I'm going to push that to one side. Now, when I work, I tend to work using a tray, especially if I'm doing something like this, because there'll be a lot of bits of plastic. You don't want it getting on the floor. If you've got pets or small children, you wouldn't want them picking it up. So if you can try and keep the cutting to the tray, that would be great. Right, so you can take this lid off. Your bottle might be damp inside, so I've brought myself an old duster just to give it a wipe out. I have washed it, and please make sure you wash them. You don't want sticky bottles when you're working with them. So wash them, try and let them dry out first, and then use. So you get your bottle, and you mark round the bottom. I've already started doing it, but it's very difficult to see this pen. So this one, luckily, it's like in sections, as you can see. So where the first line round the bottle is, I've started marking on the pattern. So I've done it so that it goes up and down in like waves around the base. Now, another tip is, before you start, you don't need the old bottle, so cut it down sort of roughly just below halfway. So if you cut it to that makes it more workable. Put the other part aside, because that will come in for something else later on. You can even make another flower out of that quite easily. There's more than enough. So using the scissors, and please bear in mind, if you're young and you need an helper, that's good, because you don't want to cut yourself. These pieces can get a bit sharp. We're going to try and round them off. So first I'm going to cut a slit down, and then I'm going to go across. That leaves me a little bit of working room. I don't know if you can see that. It just means I can get my hand into the bottle much easier. Right, so we're going to go to the first one. Now, it may look difficult, but it really isn't once you get going. So once you've marked on that pattern, start cutting. So I'm cutting mine round. Give them a nice curve to the top and down. Now you just go above where it curves as you're cutting down. You don't want to cut too low, but you don't want to leave it too high either. Give it a nice little twist on there, then back down. Next part, as you'll see, this is why the tray comes in useful. It collects all these bits for you. Keeps everything together. There we go. Oops. On cutting. Now this can take quite a few minutes. So what I've done is I've already got one that I prepared earlier, but as you can see from what I'm showing you now, the pattern's starting to form, the flower pattern. So the one that I did earlier is here. You can see that. You'll see it better soon because we're going to paint it. To move this aside. Oops. Keeping hold of the flower shape that I've already cut out. And this is when you'll need the paint. So I've decided to do a purpley one. I've put some purple already in, and I've added some white. As you can see, I've got two shades. I'm going to start off with the lighter shade. So dip your brush in the paint, and from the inside of your flower, start painting. There you go. Now I'm finding that that's a little bit light, so we're going to transfer and use the darker colour, because I think it'll show up better once it's done. So it doesn't matter if you've already got some on. And, you know, you just paint over it. There we go. Paint over it with the darker one. And you do that all the way around. So I'm going to do that. Keep showing you every so often so you can see. Now it still doesn't look like a flower, and it won't for a while. But it's going to, as we keep going, it'll look more flower-like. There we go. One of the things that I'm going to suggest as well is, with mine, I haven't made a stem. We may add a stem later. And for that, you could always use like craft sticks. A bit like a lollipop stick, but they're craft sticks. They're quite good. You could paint them. You can always use the inside of like tin foil, the papery bit, the cardboard that holds it on. They're quite good. You could paint that green and add leaves to it. If you've got garden wire, you could use that, or you could just leave them as they are and not add a stem at all. There we go. Just add a little bit more. Now they do take quite a while to dry. It's a good couple of hours. Giving it another coat just to make that colour darker. Now once that layer's dry, you make the decision. You can either give it a second coat or you can leave it as it is. I'm probably going to leave mine, but we'll see when it's dry. There we are. We're just going to put that to one side. Show you it one more time so you have a proper idea. There you go. There's your flower shape. Pop that to one side. And for now, that's it. In part 2, we'll find out what happens next. Thank you.